Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, right, holy gatherings or assemblies, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord Yahweh in all your dwellings. So that is what we know, right? The law on the Sabbath and how it is to be honored. Let's look into the word convocation over here. Makorah, right? Convocation, a calling together, a sacred assembly, right? A reading, which requires, in this case, a gathering. Verse 4, these are the feasts of the Lord Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. That's one and the same, right? The 14th day at even begins the 15th day. So the first day of the Passover is also the first day of the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, because it's also technically a Sabbath, right? The Sabbath is when the new moon comes in, 7 days after that, and then 7 days after that, right? So that would give you the 14th day is a Sabbath. Hence, as it says, you're going to have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. Servile work is like, labor, physical labor. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. So really, those 7 days we're supposed to be offering to the Lord. But once again, right, the times where we rehearse the righteous acts now, right, because the times we're in are different. We don't have access to this, and it's not by the perfection of the law that we're going to be delivered, but just for the knowledge of it. Verse 9, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits, which is a certain amount, a measurement of your first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. So he's going to actually, have that sheaf of the fruit, the first fruits, your crops, and wave it before the Lord as an offering for it to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. So you have your feast of unleavened bread, right? Starting the 14th day at even. It goes for a week, right? And ends on a Sabbath, right? That's 7 days after that. The day after the Sabbath, okay, as it says, the priest shall wave it, and ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheaf, an he lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto the Lord Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil. So you're going to mix that. An offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin, which is a measurement. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. So of your first fruits, you got to first bring an offering unto the Lord before you start, having it for yourself. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath From the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. So you're going to count 49 days from, right, starting from the the day after that Sabbath, right? The day where you brought that sheaf for an offering. And that's going to be basically 50 days from the end of the Passover. Okay? So that's 7 Sabbaths, right? Because a Sabbath is from one Sabbath to another is a week. So 7 Sabbaths is 7 weeks, which is 49 days. Even onto the morrow after the seventh, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord Yahweh. So when you count 49 days, let me pull up another translation here. 49 days from the day after the Sabbath, right? 49 days from the day you came to offer your sheaf offering of your first fruits. 49 days from then, plus another one would make it 50 days, right? So as it says here in the NKJV, count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall offer a new grain offering. So you have 49 days from the day you brought that sheaf offering, right? And then it says here, even on to the morrow. So then you would add one more day after that, which would give you that 50 days. And that's when you're going to offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. NLT says, keep counting until the day after the 7th Sabbath. So if the 7th Sabbath is 49 days, the day after would be 50 days. As it says, 50 days later, then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. And I believe that is also what is also known as the Pentecost. Okay. It says, ye shall bring out of your habitations, or the feast of first fruits, right? Also known as the Pentecost. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, or feast of weeks, as it says in Exodus 34 and 22. And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the year's end. So we're dealing here with the feast of weeks, which is what you would number basically 50 days after the Passover. It says here, verse 17, ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. So 2 loaves of bread that would be made of 2/10 deals of flour, that is to be used as a wave offering. They shall be of fine flour, they shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. Now, they are baken with leaven, and what that means is these will not be burnt on the altar, because these loaves are going to be for the actual priests. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord Yahweh, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. So this is the sacrifice or the offering you would bring to the Lord. And ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. So far, the first time of the feast, you had the Passover, which is a gathering. You have to come to, 3 times a year shall, your men assemble before me. I think that's in Deuteronomy. But the Passover is one of them. The Feast of Weeks, or the Feast of First Fruits, is the other, which we're reading about right now. And the priest shall wave them with the bread. So all the things you come to offer with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord Yahweh, with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation unto you, right? A sacred assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field, when thou reapest, meaning don't clear when you harvest, don't gather every single piece of crop off your land. If some falls, let it rock, leave it, right? And when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. So when the reapers go in and they're reaping, they may drop a bundle here, they may drop this here. You just leave that. All right. And that's going to be for, as it says, thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord Yahweh. So even your grapes on your, in your vineyard, you're not supposed to gather every single one. Leave a cluster or two here and there. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. So in the 7th month, you would have the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Also in the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement, which a couple chapters ago we went into like the law of that. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And one example of afflicting your souls is like fasting, which we do now. And offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord Yahweh your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. And show you how merciful the Lord is, right? Because how many people today, even us, before we came into this knowledge in this lifetime, we weren't keeping the Day of Atonement. Technically, we were guilty of it, right? And ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at even. From even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. And this proves to you, right, that the beginning of the day is the even or the evening. Because here, when we read up above, right, in verse 27, it says, on the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. But in here, in verse 32, it says here, the 9th day at even, from evening on to evening. So it shows you the 9th day at evening is the beginning of the 10th day, and the 10th day starts at the evening of the 9th day to the evening of the next. That is the 10th day. Shall ye celebrate your Sabbath? And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month. So you have the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and then on the 15th day of that same month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord Yahweh. On the 1st day shall be an holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work therein. So it's like a Sabbath. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, another Sabbath. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. So all the offerings that the Lord requires in their appointed times per feast. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord Yahweh, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give the Lord. So the Lord is saying here, these are the offerings, right? The burnt offering, the sacrifice, the meat offerings that you would perform or give in addition, right? Not regarding the Sabbaths and your gift offerings and your offerings of your vows and free will offerings. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And this is expounding on that Feast of Tabernacles. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, right? Which are the when you go into that word boughs, I believe it also goes into like branches as well. But let's see. Parayai or parya, fruit, right? And let's take a look here. Yeah, it says in the KJV, right? The fruit of the beautiful trees. The NLT, it says gather branches from magnificent trees, palm fronds, boughs from leafy trees. So you would gather all of these, right, as it says here, and boughs of thick trees and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. And so let's go into that word booths. What's that? Sakah. It says a thicket, right? A booth, a small temporary shelter, right? That you would basically like a little cottage you could put together. And for 7 days you would dwell in that in remembrance of, verse 43, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord Yahweh your God. Now you might say, well, wait, hold on. Didn't they dwell in tents in the wilderness, right? And so when it says booths here, it's not necessarily referring to, when the Lord said this in verse 43, not necessarily referring to the material that we dwelt in, but the concept or the idea of smallish temporary shelters in the wilderness before we had a place like a permanent residence to actually dwell or stay. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Lord Yahweh. And that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. And until next time, Shalom.